prison, and he used to tell me stories about prison. And one of the things that I felt like was, okay, it's like going to a monastery, and I was determined that I would come out of it stronger, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So I wanted to invest in myself that time. And I was leading a perfectly good existence. I would read a lot, I'd write, I'd help other prisoners, and my family used to come and visit me every week. My grandkids, I picked a prison. I had some choice on where I could go because I picked a prison in Massachusetts because my oldest daughter lived in Boston, and I had twin granddaughters, and every Friday after school they would come, and they would come on Saturdays. So I was, okay, I was holding my head high, but the prisons, they don't like it. They want to kill your spirit. They don't like anybody walking around there happy and, and I just wouldn't, I wouldn't get, I did everything I could to help others. So, for example, I would, you can buy over-the-counter medicines from the commissary and all that. So I used to buy a lot of it and just have it available for anybody. I would, write letters for them, or I would send them money so their families could visit. And I was just trying to be helpful to this, set of unfortunate people. At least 25% of them didn't even belong there. Anyway, so they didn't like me, the guards didn't like me. So one day they come to my bunk, which is, little bunk and little closet. They said, I'm going to search your closet for any, what they call contraband material. So they searched around, there was nothing, I didn't have anything. So then at the end of this search, he couldn't find anything. Then he looks at my bed, and at the end of the bed is a little pillow. I had a bad back, so I bought a towel from the commissary and rolled it up and stitched it like a pillow, round pillow, that I put on when I sit in the chair, I put it on for back support. He said, well, what is this? I said, this is a towel rolled into a pillow. He said, no, that's contraband. So what do you mean it's I bought it from the commissary. He said, no, but you altered government property by stitching it like that. So he sent me to solitary confinement. And
for 8 weeks?
I was there for 7 weeks. And I tell you, solitary confinement, I never thought about it. It's quite a, I'll give you a little description. The entire cell is about the size of this dais. Okay, your entire living quarters. It's all made of steel. Everything is cold steel. There is a bunk bed on which it's all made of steel, on which there is a little mattress. But the mattress probably was originally 2 inches thick, but it had come down to about 2 centimeters because people had been sleeping on it and so on. There's a stainless steel wash basin and a toilet. There's this door, this heavy 6-inch steel door, which has a tiny slot, like a window. And then there is a horizontal slot, which is locked. It's a steel door on which they slide the food through. And they give you no warning. They come around, they open this thing, they slide the food. If you don't get up in time to catch the food, it will fall on the floor. They just push it. And then you have to eat it off. There is virtually no light, except there's a bright neon light, right? You need the light during the daytime to read or anything because there is a tiny slit of a window. You don't get much light out of that. But the switch is outside. So you can't control when you put on the light or off, whatever they wish. So there would be nights when the whole night the light would be on, these bright neon lights shining on you. And you have absolutely nothing to do. They call it they give you 1 hour of what is called recreation, which really means is that they take you out with fresh air inside a cage. And if you see, it's literally like a circus cage where you have animals, there's barbed wire and chain link fence all around, even on top. So you can walk around this little space for an hour. And that's your entire interaction with the outside world. They humiliate you as much as they can. I mean, they give you one clothing, this sort of orange jumpsuit that you normally see in the TV show. But when they come to check every second day, they give you a new set of clothes. But you have to strip before them because it's and they shove the new clothes to you. It's like, I thought solitary confinement would be a very quiet place. It's not. There are people going crazy all around you. They're banging doors, they're shouting. It's the noisiest place in the prison. It's like all steam, people are banging on the door, people are crazy. And literally, I never thought it would be there, but there are all these markings on the doors where you count days because you don't know how many days you've been there, It was quite an extraordinary experience. I was lucky enough, when I was going to solitary confinement, I took 2 books with me, and I had to fight very hard to take it with me. One was the Bhagavad Gita. I told them, this is my Bible, you have to let me take it. And the other was a book on pranayama, which I told them also is religious scripture. It wasn't, but it was a book on pranayama. And I read the Bhagavad Gita several times during my 7 weeks there. It was a wonderful book because it had the original Sanskrit, it had, a Hindi translation and an English translation, and it had Sanskrit without the sandhi, because in Sanskrit it's very difficult to understand the words because they combine them, and there is no syntax. So unless you can reverse the syntax, you don't know which comes first because they wrote it in oral tradition. So actually it's very fascinating because if you read the shlokas, if the 4th syllable is E, then every line will have the same, so you can memorize it. That's how they did it. I had a lot of time to think, so I used to read this and then I used to, think about it and all that. And when I came out, one of the chapters in the book you'll see is about solitary confinement in the Gita. And it gave me a lot of strength in terms of, it made a lot of things kind of made sense, in the sense of, people say, why didn't you go crazy? And in fact, what happened is I did a little revenge on this guy who sent me there, which was interesting, was that the only thing you're allowed is you can have a meeting, a telephone conference with your lawyers, because my appeal was going on. So I could ask my lawyers. So I called my lawyers and said, you schedule a telephone conference with me every other day. And they had to grant that. And what would happen in a telephone conference is that this guy who sent me to a solitary confinement, he was the guard, he had to come to my cell, he had to handcuff me, take me out to the conference room, and he had to leave me alone there, but there's a window you can see through, but you can't hear what I'm talking with my lawyers, but he had to stand outside. So he would be standing outside, I would be having this chat with my handcuffed like this, kind of, and we'd go on for an hour, 2 hours, and the guy had to stand outside. So this kept happening every other day. And so he said, you're strange, everybody asks me when I'm getting out of this place, when is this going to end and what is going to happen to me, etc., etc. I said, no, why should I? I mean, solitary confinement is like prison with room service. I'm fine. So, the next week he got me out because he thought I was happy in solitary confinement.
Well, I know we are running out of time, so I'm going to just